Bang. I am assuming we are up and running.
It feels like maybe we are.
It feels like, hey, we went to video. Hey, I hear us.
Oh, we're about to loop.
You are dealing with the B team on technology here, folks. Ladies and gentlemen, Ben Handon does all of this, all right? Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty clear.
Yeah. I hope everybody's doing good. Sitting here with Pastor Bradley. Obviously, this is a little bit different. So, how's it going?
It's good to be here.
It is
I'm
good.
doing well, thanks.
Yeah.
Yeah, the ladies in the office are really looking forward to this because Jody and I have been outside
Oh, yeah.
with chemicals.
Yes.
I don't know what you would actually call it.
I don't know.
De-graffitiing
Oh, yeah.
things, yeah.
Yeah, the bus has a little bit of markings on it. Somebody got a little loose with the spray paint and wrote their name or whatever. But is it coming off?
Yeah, I think it's off. Either that or I'm really impacted by the chemicals, which I think is what the ladies were really looking forward to seeing, if there was going to be any funny stuff going on.
Yeah, I remember one time before I worked here, John Hatch, so many of you know John Hatch. I worked for him, and there was a point where I think I maybe told this story, but I was trying to hurry up, cut some corners, and so I had a whole bunch of shoe inserts out, and I had to glue them. I was the only one in the back, and I had glue on something like 20 but 20 individual inserts, glue on them, yada yada, and it dawned on me I couldn't figure out, like, why are my ears hot? What's going on? Why am I sweating? And then it clicked. I couldn't count. I didn't. And then I had to run outside for some fresh air. So maybe that's what we're about to get, right? You need some.
I don't know. It might help.
Yeah.
I've had the cognitive vocabulary recovery issues going on recently anyway, so I don't know if I'll be able to tell the difference or not.
Yeah.
Hey, it is November. It's crazy, is it not?
It is. And it's like, 100 degrees outside? And well, it's not, but it's pretty nice out.
Like 80 something.
It is, yeah.
And it's an hour later than the sun's used to, so
Yeah.
that helps.
Christy was telling me that last week, this time last year, was like an ice storm.
Really?
Yeah, so we're 1 year removed from that snowpocalypse, and here it is. I'm sitting here with a hoodie on, and I'm hot.
Yeah.
But,
Yeah, 85 or something like that today, and it's going to be freezing, I guess, by the end of this week.
Yeah.
So welcome to Amarillo.
Yeah,
right?
Get a hold
That's
of
the
yourself.
way that works.
So you see in front of us right here, Operation Christmas Child. If you guys have a box and haven't brought that back to us, the 14th, those are due back. Just bring them back in here with all of the correct stuff that is supposed to go in there, and then we'll take care of it from
Yeah,
there.
so there's a lot of really cool things that we want to recommend that you do with this. One, there's a booklet, there's a packet that's inside it. It says how to pack a shoebox, and it's really simple, but it tells you kind of the things to look for, to put in there. You can choose boy or a girl. You can also choose what the age bracket that you would like to do. And if you bring it to us, when we put them all in, we will, what's the right word? Contribute them, collect them, take them all to the right spot, to the distribution place, and we'll do them electronically, and they will send us an email letting us know where those shoeboxes went. So that's part of the fun as well, is getting to find out like what country, and maybe even what city those shoeboxes went, and we can kind of
cool.
follow and chase it. Yeah,
that happened.
Yeah, so that's great. I mean, great year was they've been to some of our mission places. So
Right on.
that's super cool.
Yeah, and so also remember, please don't put candy in there as much as we want to.
No candy. It used to be just no chocolate, but now it's
There's no candy.
no candy at
No
all.
candy. Give it to me.
You're right.
I'll take care of it. Brad, you get the chocolate.
Yes, I'll take the chocolate.
I'll take any hard candy that you were going to put in there, and we'll make sure that it goes into the ministry.
Right. It will go to the right spot, but just don't put it in the box if you don't
Yeah,
mind.
don't put it in the box, all right?
But lots of other things to do. Great. You think about hygiene stuff. We can't send toothpaste this year, but we can send toothbrushes and dental floss, and we can send soaps and
That's cool.
towels, washcloths, socks. Socks are a really
Yeah, that is
cool
a big deal,
thing.
actually.
Toys, good things. I don't remember on that video that we watched last week. This kid pulled out this. I don't even know what it was. It was huge. Boots. They were rain boots.
Oh, right on.
Yeah, this little girl had rain boots.
Put those in a box?
How did she get those in there? But
It's a magic box.
anyway, yeah.
Yeah.
So I wanted to ask you a question, if it's all right.
Come on.
You guys, your youth, yesterday watched the Marjorie Browning documentary that
Yes.
we all watched last week.
The week before, yeah.
What do you think? How'd it go over? Did the kids, were they amazed, shocked?
Yeah, they were. That's an interesting question that you just asked right there. Were they amazed or shocked? And I don't think they were amazed or shocked, except for the bats. The bats rung them up a little bit.
Okay.
Yeah, there were some
No.
I got some questions. You know, but where it was, I think it really kind of hit them in the that's the level of adventure that I'd go there.
Good.
They were
Two Brothers Swamp.
Yeah. That was. They were in a bunch. There were some of the younger ones that really just didn't want to pay attention a whole lot, but a lot of the older ones, they were all in, and they were amazed by one. Maybe that is the right word. The dedication, the level of dedication that she had. She was all in. I mean, that was a full investment.
Yeah.
And against the better judgment of a lot of people. And she went full tilt. And the more I thought about that later, actually, was, I can understand why youth would understand that. They're kind of a full tilt breed. They're all in. And if it clicks, they're all in. And so hearing her story in that, I didn't tell you about this. Really cool. So I asked them, show of hands, anybody who's ever flirted with or this idea of missions, going on missions, and not everybody, which I really appreciate. A lot of them raised their hands. So cool. And then I asked the question, what about to this extent, though, where this would be maybe your life? Have you ever had, I'm not telling you that this is you right now, but have you ever thought about that? Have you ever thought or seen yourself as a full-time missionary? You're going on the field. Not nearly as many hands, but hands went up, and they were slow hands.
Yeah.
Like what am I about to sign? And basically what I told them is the same thing as I would tell every adult is you need to sign up for as many mission trips as you possibly can. Get involved.
Yeah.
And some of you are going to be, this is going to be missional tourism where you like the feels of it, and then some of you are going to find that this shoe fits, and I'm in. So it was really cool to see that. Like I knew we would have some that would raise their hands, but I didn't anticipate that there's probably 10 that were maybe.
Yeah. Oh, her life, there's so many things about this story that were just really amazing. And I've seen the documentary now 3 or maybe 4 times.
Okay.
We catch new things each time, for it. And that was, to me, it was great to see that she gave up a life that anybody would have been, I don't know, that maybe that's what they would have, their whole life's dream would have been, is to have a regular, normal life. I think you called it the American dream, right?
Yeah, I did. And I asked them because that was one of the things. Part of the American dream, and some of you guys are going to relate to this, is like you're supposed to go to high school, you're supposed to go through life and then get married and XYZ. She gave up marriage. Apostle Paul did that.
Yeah.
And that is also a calling, to give up those things, and that's a really tough pill to swallow.
Yeah, it is tough.
It wasn't very long ago in our history that women were failures because they did not get married.
Right.
And that stigma probably still exists to some extent.
I'm glad it was still kind of there 26 years ago.
Yeah, same.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But definitely maybe more failures since for her. This is a great thing. My 10-year-old Brielle said to me yesterday.
Yeah.
We're as Madeline had watched the documentary with you, and we were talking about it, and Brielle has always been asking for a horse, and she said, she just turned to me and she goes, "See, Dad, Marjorie Browning had a horse."
She also had bats.
She didn't bring that up.
Yeah.
Oh, so I wanted to, I guess, jump from that, like the Marjorie Browning life and the story and the connection to missions and our conversation yesterday in church about gratitude. And I think, we saw the outpouring in that documentary of gratitude towards her when the entire community came out to celebrate her life. And
God, that is an amazing picture.
yeah, carry her casket down the street.
Yeah.
And more than just the Two Brothers Swamp, but an entire region that came out. And they truly were able to see and show that, appreciation, that gratitude. And it made me, the connection of it for it was the definition and the carrying out of gratitude. They saw, recognized something that they did. They acknowledged that she brought something. They recognized they couldn't have done it on their own, and then they appreciated it, and were able to show that and make that value. And I just wanted to connect those two things, and it wasn't a huge process for it, but that to me was missions to me flows right into gratitude. We need to be grateful that somebody brought us the gospel.
Yeah.
And if we're truly grateful and we're acknowledging that gift, that we couldn't have done it on our own, it was a huge value, and the person's intent was love, then to really truly show that appreciation and that gratitude, it's for us to do the same thing for somebody else.
Yeah.
And to make that connection. And that's the one thing I think about, the 10 lepers that we talked about yesterday. 10 of them were healed, 9 of them went on with their own lives. 1 of them came back and gave praise and glory to Christ. But in doing so, Jesus said in verse 19, asking that question, where's not everybody, there was 10, where's the 9? Were they not all found who returned to me except this foreigner? It's kind of outsider too, like not even the people of God.
Yeah.
Because we know that there were some Jews that are of those 9. And they did not return.
You know better.
Yeah. Yeah, they should have known.
They should have known.
But the one did. And the one was said to by Christ, "Arise, go your way, your faith has made you well." He's already healed, so what was the wellness factor of it? I would venture to say that this one of the 10 lepers was probably a great missionary.
Sure.
'Cause he truly understood what was given to him, and he took that to share with others. So that was my 2 bits. Thanks for letting me jump in, Donnie, and ruin your day today.
You're right. It wasn't. Man, I loved it. I loved your message yesterday, and I love what God laid on your heart about that. Of, trying to figure out. I've wondered about that as well. What was the extra that individual got?
Yeah.
Was it that these other 9 were cleansed and he was healed? Like maybe he never fought with that again. Maybe they did. I don't know. It's just such an amazing story. And yesterday when you were saying that, on my phone, in fact, my home screen, I've had it on there for a little while just because a bell was ringing in my head. But on my home screen, my lock screen, when I push a button to see what time it is, the background is what are you grateful for? And I've been trying to do that more often, be grateful and say that I'm grateful for things. And yesterday when you were talking, immediately, what am I grateful for? I have an amazing position. I have an amazing job. I have an amazing task. But I'm grateful that somebody told me about Jesus. I'm grateful that a family, the Bakers that lived right over here, invited me into their home and loved me to the cross and invited me to church. I'm grateful for a pastor that came to my house and offered salvation, and told me and my dad that plan, and just up the street. And what am I grateful for? That I have life. I have hope, and all of those. How does that not impact my life? And at any point that it does not, I need to take a step back and reevaluate something. There's something in the way there. You know, that leper that came back, that guy had another look at life when he turned and walked away.
He did. And I don't know if the other 9 had what I would call the disease of entitlement,
Sure.
which
It's plausible.
is where we're at today.
Sure.
You know, where we think that we are entitled to. You know, we're Americans, we're Texans, so we should be saved, right?
We came with pride built in, didn't we?
I mean, how many times have you heard the joke about the gold phone in the lobby of the church? And there's this phone in the lobbies of churches all across the country, but it's expensive to call from everywhere else. But in Texas, it's just a free call because it's local to heaven, right?
No.
I mean, we're entitled to that.
Yeah,
it's who
yeah.
we are, and
Yeah.
so we also are entitled to everything else. And
Yeah.
that's screams in the face of gratitude.
It does. It does. This passage that I have in here was kind of going. You and I talked about it a little bit before, but it's Psalm 103, and it's just 11 through 14. And I think there are times that maybe, and this is just to serve maybe as myself or to anybody as a reminder. Psalm 103, verse 11, it says, "For as high as heavens are above the earth, so great is his steadfast love towards those who fear him." Verse 12, "As far as the east is from the west, so far does he remove our transgressions from us. As a father shows compassion to his children, so the Lord shows compassion to those who fear him." Verse 14, "For he knows our frame, and he remembers that we are dust." And the reason I throw even in that last little part is God understands exactly who we are. You know, like he knows we're small. He knows we're dust. He knows all of those things, but he is such a good father, and he is such a good provider. We have the rest of this passage that he has removed our transgressions, the things that he is right to hold against us. He removes that, and he separates that for eternity, infinite distance apart. And you know that tells me two things. That tells me that God is bigger than my trash, and two, that he is not intimidated by really me. You know, and I love both of those. I do, and I'm grateful that God can look past my shields and all of the trash that I bring to the table, and regardless of how much fronting and how much I throw at him and whatever big words and however much I bow up, it doesn't do a thing to God.
He sees past it.
He sees past it. He sees a wounded kid that needs some love.
Yeah.
And how amazing is that? And I'm grateful that God would do that to a wretch like me, a wretch like us, and then would turn around and empower us to go and to bear his name on missions, with our neighbor, with our children, with our spouse, with whatever. Like, we don't deserve that, but man, I'm grateful for that he trusts us with that. And I don't know. I don't even know how to get out of that except for just I'm grateful and in awe of God, that he would use us.
Yeah, I would agree. I mean, I look at you and I see a lot of myself in that, and I think, I don't know that I would use either one of us.
I wouldn't have done it, dude. I would not have done it. Yeah. Anyway, I digress.
But God is good, and he's bigger than all of those things.
Yeah, he is,
And
absolutely.
he's even greater than our own pride and egos, right?
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. So I want to encourage everyone, you go through the rest of this day and maybe the rest of this week, live a life that is grateful. Think living. And take a moment over the next handful of minutes and hours to just, what are you thankful for? The life that you have, that God has lended you breath, all of those things. And then maybe kind of step it up just a little bit. Who are you going to tell about that? Who's your mission field that you can tell about in the next day? And then we want to hear that. Man, I want to hear your stories. I want to hear of what God's doing through you. That's encouraging to us as well.
Most encouraging.
Yeah. So, Have a great week. Enjoy the rest of your time at lunch, and appreciate you joining us as always. So, love you guys.
Thanks for being with us. Don't forget, Veterans Day is Thursday, and
Yes.
you could thank a veteran.
Yeah.
God
Easy.
bless you.